Hey everyone, welcome back to another drawing video. So today I'm going to be doing a lion. So it's a lion, it's a male lion, with the big mane and everything. So we'll keep the animal drawing going. Right, we're going to start. So a lion's face basically is kind of like a love heart kind of shape. At least the top part of it is. So what you got to do is kind of start up at the third of your page. So it's his face. Up at the top third, about here in the middle, you're just going to start with like a V, but it's a hairy V, right? So the mane will come out from here. So this is the middle of the forehead, just like that. And then this is going to travel around both sides. You're zigzagging, you're making it real hairy looking all around, right? And it's just like a squiggly line out like that. And you'll come over and you'll do the same thing over here. So we're going all the way around, right? It's kind of like the top of a love heart. All the way. Making it hairy. Okay, so when you get to about there, we're just going to extend them further down to his jaw and then his chin. So keep going, we're just extending this down and it's starting to maybe come in a little bit. So just hairy. And then his jaw is here, and this will come into his snout or his chin area where his nose and his mouth are. We'll go over and do the same thing over here. So we're hairy lines all the way down. You could do some longer lines, you know, like that, or you could keep it real hairy. It's up to you. Depends on what kind of style you're after. This is the way I do it because it's the easiest. Okay, so when we're down here, we're going to add just the mouth, that cat-like mouth. So on both sides here, we're pretty much symmetrical. It's not too bad. And then we're going to do this curved line that comes up into the middle, that cat-like, you know, mouth they have. So it's two bumps and one that goes over this way as well. And then of course in under here we have the chin. So it's just a hairy chin. It comes around this way, but it's hairy. So with that, it's kind of like he's got a beard or something. You know, you can make this as neat or as sketch-like as you'd like. Depends on what you're after. So just adding hairlines all the way around there. Now in the mouth area, he's got this shadow, so it's like just darker down here inside the mouth because it goes in. So it's got just a darkness to it. Just making this line just heavier, that's all, making it darker. And then we can just sort of make this maybe look like it's hairy coming down this way. So then this becomes his nose. So it's that triangular sort of nose with the, if anyone did the I have other cat-like videos, so it's pretty similar. Most cat noses are kind of the same, especially on the big cats. So what we do is we just bring this line right up the middle like that, and then these kind of are wings on both sides, right? So it bumps up and around here. Same on this side, bumps up and around. It's kind of wing-like. And then they have a little bit that sticks up here. It's kind of like the nostril kind of thing. It's this black skin they have around their nose. Just there. And then this will travel back down towards the mouth. So this will come back down this way, curve around there. So it's given that curvy shape to the snout. And then this will do the same on this side. So this will come back, down, around, back in there. So then we have this, a sort of a pink section. So it's like pink in the middle, and then these are dark for that black skin and the nostrils. So you just curve a line down that way. And then we'll do the same over here. So at the top corner, you'll just do a line here, and this will make it longer, same as this side. And it curves right down into that triangular section down there. So all in there is pink, and in here is black, so I can do that now. Right, so now what we're going to do now is we're going to just bring that snout up further towards the eyes, which are here. So about halfway between the nose and the forehead is where our eyes will be. So in proportion, about halfway, about here. And then the snout will come up just the sides here. So what we're going to do is we'll just add some lines that show the snout just coming up a bit longer. See that? Coming up here too, just making it a bit longer. And then it'll curve in, just here, and maybe here too. And then these will come around to those pointy parts that cats have just on the inside of their eyes. So this comes up, this will come up towards the eye in here as well. So what we can do is we can bring this line just a bit further up this way, like that, and you can do something similar on this side. So it starts to travel up towards that eye, see? And then this will curve around the top of the eye. So we'll go curvy over this direction, and then this will do the same, curving over this way. And then we have the iris and the pupils in there. So what we'll do is we will do the color part first, the iris. So it's just a semicircle, the top is kind of cut off. So we'll just go around it, trying to make it as circular as we can. Just like that. And then the pupil is in there. And of course this is dark. You can do the same thing over the other side. So you'll do a semicircle, kind of the same, curving around, and then the pupil in there, dark. Try and get the same size. Try your best. And then cats have that dark section, kind of like the nose, this like dark skin around their eye. So we'll just make those lines thicker again. So like this one, we'll come back in here, come underneath that eye, come around, go back in there, and you'll color that in all dark. And we'll just make this a bit thicker here, just to show those cat-like dark sections of eyes. I'll make the top line just a bit darker too. So it's kind of like you're adding a shadow, but it's also the anatomy of the cats that they seem to have these dark parts. And we'll do the same thing underneath, or sorry, on the other side. Just there. And we'll go dark around just like that one as well. So that's the main parts of the animal's face. So now we can just add kind of details and things. So what we can do now is we can add sort of hair for the middle of his brow, his whiskers, etc. So what we can do is we'll add a line just for eyelids, kind of underneath here, curving up, kind of like that. One on top too. These can be hairy, of course, squiggly sort of lines, like that. We can come over and do the same here. You can make them hairy. Do the same on top as well. Don't worry if they're not like perfectly symmetrical. Things aren't perfectly symmetrical in nature anyway. They're a little bit bigger or smaller on one side or the other. Then we can add some sort of more hairlines just around here on the top. Just kind of showing that it has a furry face. So that bump for where the eye is, you're just showing that with lines. And then we'll add some hair coming up on the side here, just for the side of the forehead. Just kind of like that. And then we can add a line right down the middle here. And then there's hair that grows this way and grows that way. You can add as much of this as you'd like. Of course, if you're coloring, you could use a darker brown or that lion kind of sandy color that they have for their fur. It would be darker in here and it would get sort of lighter as you go out this way. So just adding sort of lines as much as you'd like. You don't have to do too much. Sometimes less is more with these things. People will get the idea. So we can maybe give a little line coming out here, maybe for eyelashes maybe or something. And then there's just these cheeks, just hair that come down the side of the face here. I'm just gonna make this line thicker. Forgot to do that bit. And then cheeks that come down here. So hairy ones. Around here too. And then there's just some lines on the snout. So just maybe a line like around here, just to show these bumps of his nose. One coming down here, coming in. Maybe some up the side here. Just to give it a bit like it's raised up. Then, so we have those dots that cats have, you know, for their whiskers. So coming down the side, you have those dots that come in sort of in a curved like way. So dots in like this. And you could do the same on the other side. So see the way they're kind of curved up and out? And the whiskers grow out of there. You can do another layer. You could do it as a line or dots. Like you could join some together. Kind of like that. These curve around the side of the face. Make maybe that line a bit thicker just to give it some shadow or something. Like that. And one more smaller one just down here. You could do 4 rows of these, 3. Totally up to you really. And then we will start adding in the mane. So we'll add in the whiskers when the mane is done, because the whiskers are in the front, so you should draw in kind of the lines for the mane first. So then, the mane, very simply, we have hair that comes up this way, hair that grows up this way, and then down. So you can do some coming up here, right up the middle, and you could go kind of rough with this, or you could go kind of Disney style or something, and you could, so in some lines you can see the ears, in other lines you can't. So like if you put a kind of a curved line maybe for an ear in here, just with the inner part, and then of course there'd be hair all like growing over that, and hair behind. So you can see an ear there, and maybe we can see an ear kind of over the other side somewhere. But most of the ear will be hidden by hair, kind of that grows out from the head. So like this way. See that? And we can keep going the other side, doing that lion's mane. You can go as detailed as you'd like. You could go as kind of Disney as you like, real smooth Mufasa type of hair, or sort of more rough like they are in real life. So just adding spikes of hair like this, and you'll gradually start to go down this direction then. So if it goes off your page there, that's okay. Just pretend like it's a close-up photo. Going all the way down. It'll start to go gradually more down the page then, and it'll start to touch his face and start to come in towards the middle then. So however you do this is up to you, because hair moves, changes, all the time changing. So we're going to start to come towards the middle now, and these lines just like go straight down. Like this. And eventually we'll come over. And then we start to go the other side. So I'll go back up to the top and we'll do it from there. Starting to go down now, same as that side. So you're just adding loads of hairy, wavy lines like that, all the way down. Gradually getting further down the page, and then in towards the middle here. And there it is. That is how to draw a male lion's face. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.